So today is going to be a Q&A video. I pretty much do one of these every year and I got a whole lot of really good and really personal questions as well. Everything from like work to life to my cats to dating to motivation to travel plans. So I got this the last time I was traveling. It's a Korean ramen by Samyang and it's called the hot chicken flavored ramen. Everything here indicates that this is going to be really spicy, so I thought it might be fun to make myself the ramen, attempt to eat the ramen all while answering your questions. The instructions to prepare these noodles were actually a little bit different than the cup noodles we get in India, and based on the very sage advice of some people who tried this before me, I didn't add all of the chili paste because I'm chicken, but I think I got half in there. It's kind of yummy. Okay, yeah, the spice is hitting. It is strong. The first question that I got from a few people: how are you feeling and are you happy? Which, thank you for asking. It's such a sweet thing to ask, I think. I'm feeling pretty good right now. As to the question about whether I'm happy, I'm not unhappy. I feel in a satisfied, good headspace. My lips are also burning. Just had 2 spoons and my lips are burning. It's kind of that slow burning heat that keeps hitting you. Makeup is just gonna get so messed up. For some reason, I also feel like I have to tie my hair. Dimpy has asked me how I deal with isolation or loneliness. I don't really feel isolated or lonely that much. I mostly keep to myself as a person. I'm not very social. I don't have a big group of friends. I'm happy alone. And I don't really need that many people around me. Like, I need some people. No one can survive with no social contact. I do deal with sometimes feeling really anxious. I've realized that if I sit idle during those times, it doesn't help me. It's good to face them, but also if you sit idle, you're overthinking. So I just try to keep my mind occupied in something that makes me happy. It can be reading a book. Lately, I've enjoyed gaming a lot. You just need to find any kind of activity that makes you happy and concentrate on it. So there are quite a few questions regarding my cats. Many of them asking about Thelma's health. My eldest cat Thelma did have a really bad health scare, which the doctor at one point suspected to be cancer. Luckily, when we got the results back, it wasn't cancer. It's still a tumor that has to be dealt with. So Thelma has had his surgery and he's recovered really well. It's not gone away. He's on the road to recovery. They had to remove a few of his teeth, but within 24 hours, basically, he was 100% back to his normal self, and you can really tell that he's feeling a lot better. We're very happy and hopeful that he will make like 100% recovery and still have many years ahead of him. I'm really loving the sesame taste in it. The dry powder that I added in had a lot of sesame, and I suspect the paste has sesame oil also. It's kind of yummy. Yvette has also asked me which of my cats are my favorite, which is a really nice question because I do have 4 cats. Thelma, he's so big, but he's the biggest, sweetest baby you'll meet. So gentle. He's so attached to us. My second cat, Small or Honey, he's also just really sweet because he doesn't get on that well with the other cats. And of all of our 4 cats, he's the one who can kind of tolerate cuddling with us best. third cat, Tiny, she's really feminine and delicate. She's our only girl, but she's also really maternal. Pony, our youngest, he's just so interesting. Like, he's such a weirdo, and he's really skinny and long. I can't believe he's already 1 year old. He just has the most ferocious, entertaining kind of personality of all of our cats. But if I were to pick one of them, I would pick the second, Small. When he came over to our house, he was just recovering from an injury. He was really distrustful of everybody around him. He was scared all of the time, and he had really bad anxiety. I think he still has anxiety. You can see it, but it's better. Something about when I saw him, since I also suffer from anxiety, like instinctively I felt drawn to him and I felt protective towards him. When he came, I told my mom, like, we can't send him away. Like, I understand him and I can't send him to another foster home. I have the biggest soft spot for him because we have that in common. By the time I answer like each question, I kind of dread going in for another spoon, but I'm also like craving it. It's kind of addictive. Like, it's yummy, but it's also torture. I've received a lot of questions about my travel plans this year, where I'm heading to next, or whether like I'm heading to Goa soon. Around this time of the year, last year I was in Vietnam, the year before that I was in Thailand. Also, there are questions about whether coronavirus has affected any of my plans, because I know that's been the case with a lot of people, whether I would travel despite coronavirus. Coronavirus hasn't affected me much because I didn't have any travel plans for most of this year. It's based on a few factors actually. I'm working on something, like a project for which I wanted to concentrate more on. It's purely a personal project, not work, which requires a little bit of focus and a little bit of my time. So I'd already kind of decided that I wouldn't travel anywhere for most of this year. In December, I discovered the thing like with my cat's mouth, and I realized that I really need to see this through and get it treated properly, and you can't treat this thing overnight. So that's why any travel plans were put off, and I did not have anywhere to go this year. When I'm next going to Goa, because Goa is my hometown, it doesn't feel like, travel, because it's just like going to your other home. I might be going to Goa around the end of the year. I'm hoping to make a trip and just like, spend some time there. I always go to South Goa, so part of me is really hoping to also explore North Goa. Love to see like the old parts of Panjim, go to Mapsa Market. These are things that I've been thinking of, but I haven't done. Regarding traveling during coronavirus, I would say no. Right now, coronavirus has gotten a lot more serious over the last few days and weeks. That being said, also it's a really new virus and it's kind of spreading pretty quickly, though the mortality rate's not high. Whatever happened in Italy should kind of serve as a warning to everyone else that don't take it so lightly, because even if you yourself don't get sick with the virus, if you travel during this time, you can be a carrier. You can spread this to any other people who might be more vulnerable, be it like you have some elderly people at home or anything like that. So it has been officially declared as a pandemic, which means at this stage the best thing that anyone can do is containment, avoiding crowded places, not traveling just for leisure, and just staying home. So as a blogger, I work from home a lot. I am pretty happy just living at home all day. This is not making that much of a difference in my lifestyle. Richa has asked me about a dish from Vietnam I would go back to try again, and will I visit Vietnam anytime in the future. So I have a whole series of Vietnam vlogs, by the way. If you're just tuning in, you can watch them there. Now, Vietnam had some amazing food and I tried so much of it, but out of the more famous dishes, if I was in Hoi An, I would eat more banh mi. The banh mis there were just so insanely good, and we did eat a lot of them. And if I was in Hanoi, one thing that I really miss is the bun cha. Oh my god, the bun cha was so good. It's just basically like this clear soup with noodles and some herbs and like little mini hamburger patties that you dunk in. For some reason, I didn't eat that many bun cha when I was in Hanoi, and then when I came back to India, I was really sad about it. So Bangkok is pretty much my favorite international city to travel to, but I would definitely travel to Vietnam and Hanoi again. The flights end up being really long and then they kind of get expensive also. When we went, we had to change like 2 flights to get to Hanoi and take an additional flight if you want to go to Hoi An. But in the time since then, there have been airlines that are running direct flights to Vietnam from Delhi and from Mumbai. That is kind of tempting, because that's the biggest deterrent for us, and if there's a flight that goes there directly, I might go sometime soon. There are a fair amount of questions here about dating. Priyanka has asked me, how's your love life, any progress? Mansi has asked me, do I have a boyfriend and what are my plans for marriage? And there are a few more like that. Sorry to tell you guys, I have nothing to report. Neither do I have any specific kind of immediate plans for marriage. There has been a lot of more pressure in recent years about the whole get married thing. There is a strict timeline that, okay, if you're not married by 25, 26, you're getting really old, and you know you're not going to find somebody. You need to start your married life, you need to start having children, and there's just this whole thing charted out mostly for women that we're all expected to do. And if you decide not to do things by that timeline, then I think you get a lot of external pressure from society. Like, forget about like your immediate family or extended family butting in your life, but it's so random, like literally your neighbors and people who have nothing to do with the way you live your life, or just some acquaintance you hardly know, will start badgering your mother like, oh my god, when is she getting married, what is she waiting for? I'm not averse to the idea of marriage, but I think that if I do get married, it will be purposeful. It'll be because I want to get married. It will be because I really found someone I believe I can spend the rest of my life with, somebody that I am just going to go and get married because I'm at a certain age. So I think that if it happens, it's great. If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be too hard pressed about it. That is pretty much how I'm choosing to live my life. In our parents' generation, the pressure was that much harder that they just basically didn't have any choice. At least we have a little bit of room to think about that, and I appreciate that. Dating is not something that comes easily or naturally to me. To get out of the house and go meet a new person at first is a little bit difficult, and there are times when I'll do it. Okay, you guys, I'll go out and I'll go like on a couple of different dates a week with like different people, but that's very rare. And then there are like 2 or 3 months when I don't really feel like going out and meeting anybody new. I think dating can be interesting also, even when you're doing it like casually. You learn a lot like about, I don't know, the other person, but it also teaches you so much about yourself that you wouldn't know if you didn't put yourself out there. So it's been an interesting journey, and when I have something to report with you guys, I will. Rishwari has also asked me if I want to have kids someday. My answer to that is similar to my answer on the getting married question. I think I would like to have a kid someday, singular. I definitely don't think I could parent more than 1 child. In case it doesn't happen for whatever reason, I think I wouldn't be too sad or disappointed either, because I'm not one of those people who always saw myself being a mother. I think I'd make a good mother, maybe an okay mother. It's just basically wait and see at this point. There are actually a fair amount of questions about how I stay motivated, or do I have any tips for being motivated every day. I'm not an extremely motivated person. There were periods that I was really motivated. Like in the year 2016 and even 17, I worked really hard on my blog, my Instagram, even my YouTube. I put in work that year and I saw a lot of results. I got so many collaborations, I got a lot of great opportunities. But at the end of the day, I felt like all these things didn't really fulfill me that much. Like, it made me happy to see that, okay, I'm putting in the work and I'm going forward. But I was like, okay, this isn't doing much for me. I'm just kind of chill. I'm not like, oh, I have to reach a certain level. I have to be the best. I have to prove something to others or myself. I also got a question on if there are any sponsorships I regret. I have a partial answer to this because I don't take on sponsorships for just any brands or just any products. I've said no to a lot of sponsorships that don't directly fit in with any ideals I may believe in, whether it's a whitening product or just something I wouldn't use. I directly say no to it. One sponsorship that I partially was sad about how it went down was when I got to work with a brand I really admire, which is a really cool brand, and it's something that I already used, and I was so excited to be partnering with them. It was something that was happening on a really tight deadline because it was like coinciding with a festival. It was really last minute, okay? So they didn't give me much time to create what they wanted. Plus they were very specific. The day that I had to shoot for that sponsorship, like I was doing it myself with my mom's help, ended up being really stressful. And there was also a part where I had to just talk about the thing in question. And I would have been so happy to do that because again, this is something I had already organically been using in my life for a while. So I was so excited. When it came time to film that, they gave me a script. And I was incredibly disappointed to receive a script now, because we get scripts sometimes as influencers. I mean, if you're filming an ad and all, it kind of is often a script. It's not that uncommon, but they were making me say these things that didn't exactly fit with my experience, and I felt like I would have been able to talk better if I was talking from my own experience. Since it was on such a short deadline, there was no time to go back and forth with all these things, so I ended up speaking the script. I still love the brand I work with, but I was not 100% happy and behind the specific content and language in that ad. So Anita has actually asked me when I'm getting my next tattoo, because I already have 5 tattoos and I have a video out on my tattoos. I think I got this last one a few years ago on my birthday, and it made me feel really good. This birthday, which is coming up really soon, I feel like I'm in a mood to get another tattoo, and I feel like I have a good idea for it as well. I might get a little tattoo on my birthday. I haven't decided on placement, and I know it's going to be something kind of small and kind of subtle and a little bit different in style and aesthetic to the ones I've gotten so far. How will you define self-worth and confidence? And there's another one that says, please talk about your insecurities, because everybody has them, but nobody talks about them. And then there's another one that says how to be more confident in your skin with your flaws. The concept of self-worth is something I've given a lot of thought to over a few months or a year. How do I define my worth as a person? One of the things I had to work on was separating my sense of self from what I do for a living. I just know that this is something I do and it's not who I am. So that's the difference. It's a difficult thing to do in the beginning, because who are we without what we do for a living? Who are we without our relationships, to our parents, to a significant other? Like if we have children, you kind of have to give some thought to who you are. I'm working on that, but I know that my self-worth is not tied in any way to my work. Still trying to find who I am as an individual. Regarding tips as to how I became more confident, that was just a journey that I had to work on. And also to the person who asked me to talk about my insecurities, I don't talk about my insecurities all of the time in every video, because I don't think it's healthy to just bring up your insecurities all of the time. But she's absolutely right. Every one of us have insecurities, and I have a shit ton of them. And I made a video where I'm just talking about confidence and insecurities a few years ago. It's called My Perfect Imperfections. It was a tag. I'm going to leave it here. If you'd like to know more about what my journey has been, you can watch that video. How I became confident, it was a slow process, you guys. I just realized that this is the person that I am, and this is like the flesh prison that I'm in. This is my body. I can either kind of love it and embrace it, or I can kind of live just not liking it. So I slowly worked at becoming more confident, and I don't think I'm a super confident person. It's easier for me to be confident when I'm in front of a camera alone, but when I'm with a lot of people, I sometimes just feel awkward and out of place. But know that self-confidence, I don't think it comes naturally to anybody. It's just something that you have to work on little by little. You have to sort of slightly push yourself into doing things that are out of your comfort zone, and that's how you're going to improve at it. What did my mom and dad do for a living? My dad was in the merchant navy and my mom was a nurse. Dad was basically a captain, and he used to work at like navigating and stuff that you have to do when you sail ships. And my mother worked in the healthcare industry. I love that my parents both had really interesting professions because I actually learned so much from both of them. For my dad, I learned little intricacies about weather, tides, navigation, all of that stuff, and I did also get to sail with him when I was little. From my mom, I learned so much about the healthcare industry and about medicines, and I basically rarely had to go to the doctor in my entire life because my mom has known how to take care of me, like as a mother also and as a healthcare provider. So that has been wonderful. I think what both my parents did for a living was pretty freaking cool. We're almost at the end of these noodles. So someone has asked me for money saving tips, which I'm literally the worst person to ask about this, you guys. I'm really bad at managing my money, and I am what my mom likes to call a spendthrift. I'm just not really good at saving money on my own. So I do like shopping and buying things, and I end up going over budgets all of the time. Like I never actually have a budget for myself, and I've also never lived away from home. I've always lived at home, so I've never had to worry about a lot of adult things such as paying for rent. I can't offer any investment advice, you guys, but I think it's really important to work on getting financially independent and financially literate as well, because you cannot always depend on someone else in your life to manage your money. Right now I have my parents who are helping me manage my own money and like learn a little bit about investment, but I also have to take that responsibility for myself. I'm going to give a little shout out to Saloni, who is another Indian YouTuber, and she's done quite a few videos on like finances and investments and stuff. I sit and watch those diligently, and I've actually learned quite a bit. I love her videos, so I would recommend that. A lot of my friends who are working in traditional jobs say that by a certain age you should consider getting a financial planner to help you with managing money. Or if your parents are good at this stuff, take their help, but also don't just be really passive about it. Make sure that you learn for yourself as well. That is my advice to you guys, and hopefully I take it too. So some favorite YouTubers lately, I've really been enjoying Michelle Choi's videos. She makes these chill little vlogs about living alone in New York. I also enjoy watching Audrey Storm. I really like her lifestyle videos, and she lives in this home by the beach. It has a lot of character, so she makes these interior decoration videos. She makes some food videos. She has a cat and a dog. She's another person I've been enjoying, and I've also found a couple of new beauty YouTubers that I really love. I feel like the mainstream beauty community on YouTube has become incredibly toxic, and I don't watch any of those people. I really like Raw Beauty Christy and Jamie Page Beauty. Both of them are really good at makeup. They know what they like, and they're very honest, and also even though they have really good skills, they're not afraid to show their natural skin texture, which is something that like when I started seeing their videos, it helped me so much, because I feel like the beauty videos I was watching before that, everyone seemed to have really perfect skin all the time, and my skin is far from perfect. I have pores, I have acne, I have all of it. So I'm really enjoying any kind of beauty YouTubers who also don't have perfect skin and also normalize it. Mainstream media, be it TV ads or magazine ads, and even a lot of YouTubers either have perfect skin or they're retouching so much that the regular person has forgot what skin looks like. If they see one pimple on your face, they're like, ew, you have a pimple, but bitch, it's normal. It happens to a lot of people. So I appreciate these people showing their skin as it is. I'm going to leave all of the names I mentioned down below. I hope you find some new favorites as well. We're just going to go for a spoon now. I was asked whether I'm going to start reviewing books on YouTube. I did post a book in my March favorites, and I've been trying to get back into reading. I was so into books growing up. It was a huge part of my life. I feel like books were also a huge part of my personality at one point of time. Like I was that person who defined myself as a reader and someone who loved books and bought books and all of that stuff. I don't feel like I'm that person anymore because I haven't actively read for a long time. And I also feel like I'm not good at critiquing books at all. I will not review books, but if you guys would like, I could make some book related content. If I'm reading an interesting book, I will make sure to put it in my monthly favorites. When I read a few more books, I could make some videos around them. Please tell me if this is something you guys would like to see. I do constantly want to expand the topics I feature on this channel. I am hoping to also do like some home decor content, because I'm obsessed with seeing home decors, room makeovers, all of that kind of stuff. When I get some new furniture and all, I might also feature things like that. We are at the end of this. These are the end of the questions for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this and really ended up liking these noodles. Not putting all of the sauce was a really good tip. Feel like they were fiery but manageable. That's all for today. I would love it if you guys leave a comment, and I will see you all next time. Bye.